gonna die, you fat bitch.
Hi Sam, I have a good job that I enjoy with a decent salary of $100K.
Good for you!
I have $50K savings that I want to turn into real money.
Burn it!
What are your thoughts on ETFs or any other?
Fuck 'em!
Or any other ideas to put my money?
401k!
I already have 10K in Bitcoin.
Get the money when you're 900 years old! I cannot. I don't think I can give. I think it's probably. I can't give financial advice.
Yeah. Should we change the chat to only have
all financial advice?
No.
I will say. Listen. I'll say this. I say. I put. I will continue. I've put and I'll continue to put all my money into Bitcoin.
Bitcoin.
And I think conceptually, I am. The important things are Michael Saylor talking about Amazon stock. I'll just briefly encapsulate. Here we go, right here. Michael Saylor talks about Apple stock in 2012, and his point, what he's talking about, he's talking about stocks, companies, technologies, whatever, where there's S-curve adoption. And what S-curve adoption is, you start down here at zero. It stays very close to zero. It's almost nothing. There's almost no activity. You've got a little bit of activity with early adopters, and then once the thing is proven, whatever, you have this growth that looks like exponential growth, and then what it does is at the top it tapers off. That's why it's called an S curve, like this. It tapers off once the niche has been filled. Like once everybody who could possibly ever own an iPhone has an iPhone, your niche has been filled. And yes, there's like 1 billion people in Africa who don't have iPhones, but it's like if we were to, like the distance between right now and everybody in Africa having an iPhone, that distance time-wise and also the amount of like income that would create is not really, it's not the same as Apple's run-up from the beginning to now, which... And what Michael Saylor talks about a lot is in those early phases. Right now, Michael Saylor, he's like a Bitcoin evangelist, which I'm not saying to go watch his Bitcoin videos. His videos of him prior to Bitcoin, talking about Apple, Amazon, tech investing, etc., are really worth looking into if you want to know about where you might want to put your money. Okay, his non-Bitcoin videos are very illuminating as well. Okay, I'll say that. When people were looking at Amazon stock in 2009 or whatever, they were looking at Apple stock in 2012. They were looking at Bitcoin now and a few years ago. They were looking at this volatility, and volatility, like if the product is an obvious, what Peter Thiel calls a 0 to 1 product, like it's 0 to 1 means 0, there's none of it in the world. 1 is the invention of the first iteration of it in the world. And like globalism is focused on going from 1 to 100, taking the iPhone that already exists and duplicating it 100 times so that everybody in China can have one. That's 1 to 100. That's globalism. But like actual innovation is 0 to 1. Is thinking of where there's. I'm sorry for rambling with this. Whatever. You know, this is what you're interested in anyway. Fuck was I saying? Oh yeah. So going from where there's nothing to where there's something. That's where the actual innovation takes place. And when that innovation happens, when you go from 0 to 1, there's always volatility because the market is trying to figure out like how legit the thing is, what it's worth, etc. But there's a period where to insiders and even to laymen, even to laymen with enough kind of like layman knowledge in various fields to piece together the truth, there's a period where it's obvious there is a clear category winner, but the market is still fucking around trying to figure out who the clear category winner is. But to anybody who knows how a fucking computer works, it's obvious that the iPod beats the Zune, and you'd have to have an MBA and be a professional investor to be retarded enough to think that the Zune beats the iPod, and that's where there's volatility. And what the problem with volatility is, people try to time the volatility, and they think they're geniuses. Like, people look at the price of Bitcoin or Apple stock or whatever, and they say, whatever Apple stock was at, let's see, Apple stock 2010. Is there a chart for this? So people will be like, they'll be like right here, 280, and they'll be using their past history. They'll be like, they'll see that it's at an all-time high, and they'll just go like, it's almost like a fucking, it's the way a fruit vendor looks at the way things should be priced. Mm-hmm. Like these plums, you're telling me $45 for a plum? This doesn't make sense. Apple stock 280, but it was 200 a year ago. It was only 200 a year ago. Why would it be 280? And then, I mean, now the market cap, so after multiple splits, if you had invested in 2010, Apple stock in 2010, calculate what it's worth, or Apple market cap 2010. So you would have 10x'd your market cap now. Yeah, so if you had just bought in 2010 when it was at the market cap was 300 billion, now the market cap is 3 trillion, you would have 10x'd your money. But it's hard to do that at the time when the stock's going like this and you're thinking, "Oh, I'll buy." This is not interesting to people. What was the question? What should he do with his money? I can't give you financial advice. All my money goes directly into Bitcoin.
Yep.
And the other person that I think is conceptually correct a lot of the time is the meme lady, Kathy Wood, and her notion, which I don't think has yet to play out yet. I don't know how people who've bought ARK Invest have done, but her idea is that there are 5 revolutionary technologies, and that the synergy between these 5 revolutionary technologies will have a sort of magnitude of it as along the same lines as the last time there was a synergy of revolutionary technologies, which would have been like steam engine, rail transport, and whatever. Mm-hmm. If you watch her videos about Kathy Wood's technologies, but yeah, you're gonna have to search for it. But that's her idea, is that AI, gene editing, blockchain, and there's 2 other things that she talks about that the synergy between these things is going to absorb a lot of money, which I think conceptually makes sense to me. Although I don't think her ARK Invest ETF is doing well, but I haven't checked in a year, so I don't know.